here. He's been on like every show ever. Please welcome, he's from Mulholland Drive, X-Files, Dexter, Lost, the list goes on. Please welcome Mark Pellegrino!
I don't even know where they got some of that footage from. I don't even know what a couple of those movies were. Who's the cop? Does anybody know that?
Crazy. The one where your skin was all messed up. That's what I want to know.
Right?
Supernatural.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
No. Yeah, Supernatural. That was Supernatural. I played a character named Lucifer. Otherwise known as the Devil. Who, from what I understand, is coming back in season 11. The devil is the prince of lies, so I might not be telling the truth. But there's this thing called the darkness that I think needs to be dispelled, right? So.
I don't know, you're just feeling like a big shot, sitting up here.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Me too.
Alright. Do you want to get right to questions?
I love getting to questions unless you have questions that you want to ask before we get to the question.
I do. One of my favorite films is actually Mulholland Drive.
Yikes.
Does everybody remember him from that? Wasn't he great?
Woo! Yes!
People like that.
And now I feel old.
What?
But the eye cream is working. The eye cream is working.
Hey, I was watching Star Trek when it was on TV.
Okay. I'm Netflixing it. I feel better.
When it was still in season. It wasn't a rerun, so I'm old. You want to talk old.
So I want to know, what was it like working with David Lynch?
David Lynch is one of the sweetest. Do you guys like David Lynch, first of all?
Yes.
Did you guys see Lost Highway?
Yes.
Crazy movie, right? Actually like that movie. Yeah, he's one of the nicest people, most unpretentious people I've ever worked with. Not that I've worked with pretentious people in the past, but he was great because he used to carry a megaphone around, you know, like the one that Lucifer uses to torment Sam, that megaphone. And he used to carry one around on the set as well, just to yell action through, like an old-time, you know, director of the 20s, 30s. Only he was sitting like 2 feet away from me. And I remember one of his directions for the scene that you guys saw up there briefly. He said, "All right, Mark, I want you to stand there and exude happiness. Just exude happiness." And he's like, "Action!" Threw that microphone right in my face right before the take. I'm sorry, I put the microphone away from my face so you missed the punchline. Whatever.
Well, we have so many people waiting to do questions.
Yeah,
Should we jump right to it?
Yeah, where are they?
All right, so let's start over here.
Really? Yeah.
Can you? Oh, did I screw it up?
Do I? Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I have no authority. Don't listen to me. Hi, Mark.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I feel far away from you.
I'm a fan of your work, but my question is supernatural related.
Okay.
We know that Jensen
By
and Jared...
the way, before you ask me the question, I just want to give you a disclaimer. I probably won't be able to answer it. So it's weird that we're having this Q&A, isn't it? No, go ahead.
we know that Jensen and Jared are quite the pranksters. I want to know what the worst prank they ever played on you, and if you reciprocated, and how.
They don't play pranks on me.
Really?
Why? Look at me. I think one of the worst pranks that Jared ever played on me was not intended for me. It's just that he has issues. And so, right before one of the takes, you know, we were in an enclosed set, and the room was very small. It's the one where I blow on the window and I, you know, make the what do you call that thing?
Sickle.
The what? Sickle?
Sigil.
That ain't no sickle. You know, the trident? Pitchfork. It's a pitchfork. Right. It was during that scene, and you know, in the film industry, they roll sound, they roll the camera, and then the director says action, and you start, you know, doing your thing, but the camera's already rolling. And so they rolled the sound and they rolled the camera. They said action, and I'm, you know, starting to do my spiel, and Jared farts. It was a silent, very deadly fart. So I urge you to go back and look at that scene and see the expression on my face, which is caused by having to do that entire scene in a fart cloud. I have not repaid him back for that, by the way. I tried, you know, during the times I was tormenting him, you know, in between takes, but I still owe him one for that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. First of all, thank you for being here on Independence Day. We know that it's a celebration for family in the United States.
Yes.
You're here with us, so on behalf of your fans, thank you very much.
Thank
Happy
you.
Independence Day.
Thank you.
Secondly, we know that we're all here for your large body of work, including Lost, Supernatural, Dexter, Big Lebowski, etc., etc. My question is with regards to your most recent filmed work, I believe.
Yes.
Certainly your most recent self-credited work. What was your initial reaction and what was your final reaction to the final product of the Hillywood project?
Oh. It's like on pins and needles. I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
At 4.2 million views.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you know, when they asked me to do that project, I was at the Las Vegas con, and like a couple weeks before, they said, hey, we're doing this thing, you want to be a part of it? I said, sure. I like being a team player. I love the fans, Supernatural fans are awesome, and it was for them, so I was like, yeah, bring me in. And just in between gigs, you know, I was going from a signing to a meet and greet, they dragged me into a room and put on some music and said, dance around for a while. So I did what I'm told. I did that. I danced around for a while with my little devil horns. And then when I saw it, I didn't know what to expect. And it was a really, really well done music video, man, that told a great story and used us all really, really well. What did you think of it?
It was brilliant, and when I was actually watching it via Skype with a friend of mine here in Montreal. I don't live in Montreal, so I'm going to see you in Toronto in October. I hope. If you're there.
You know my schedule before I do.
If you're there, I'm certainly going to be in Toronto. I'm going to be in the TourCon in Toronto. But my reaction involved my roommate having to close my door because I was screaming too loud. It was brilliant.
But not screaming in horror.
No, joy. It was awesome.
That was fun. It was really, really, really nice project to be on.
Good. Thank you. Again, thank you on behalf of the fans.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, the fandom for Supernatural has really evolved over the last few years, don't you think? I think over the last 3 years, we've become, you know, like cousins and uncles and brothers and sisters and such, and it's pretty cool. Because I never really had a family. My family was really like broken, you know, and so for me, it's nice to have a family of millions. Yes.
Get out of my head. Okay, no, sorry. No, I love you. You can stay in my head. So my question was, if you could play any other character on Supernatural, who would it be? Like, if you didn't play Lucifer.
You know what I heard? I heard Eric Kripke, do you guys know Eric Kripke?
Yes.
The creator of the show, Supernatural. You're fine. He's the creator of the show. He said I was actually up for Castiel.
What?
Oh.
I know everybody's like, whoa. No. I have absolutely no memory of ever auditioning for that. So I don't know if it's just because I had so many auditions that it just kind of, you just kind of try to give up the ones that you don't get, or whether I was in the, like, I was going to be offered the part, and they just decided to go with Misha. I don't know, but it all works out, right? I mean, you can't really imagine Castiel being done any other way now that somebody's made the role iconic for the show. I can't imagine wanting to be any other character though, because the chemistry of the characters is so perfect. I feel like to try to be like, oh, I want to be Sam or it just kind of screws up the whole composition of it that works so well. I know what I do want to do. I want to come back as Lucifer and beat the crap out of Crowley. I love Mark Sheffield personally, but Crowley's got to go. He's a little too arrogant. Right?
No.
Awesome. Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
What? I wasn't listening.
I see you as a trickster, though.
Really?
You look kind of.
Oh, I am devious. And I like to play jokes on people. So that's true. But I love Richard so much. Like, I would hate to say, Richard, I want your part. And I think he and I go together well as Gabriel and Lucifer. And I really felt sincere feelings of loss and pain when I heard him, because he's such a nice guy for real, and so funny and so witty that our relationships all kind of interweave. Our real relationships kind of, I think, show in the shows themselves. We're all pretty tight. I think that's it, right? Good question. It's weird, there's a monitor down here with my... And it's got a delay on it. God, you guys are freaking me out. Switching up. Well done. Do we have more? There's no questions over on that side. Oh, you're sleeping. Wake up,
On
dear.
the monitor.
We are on stage in front of people. You were what?
Distracted by the monitor.
Were you?
It's terrifying. I mean, fine.
What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, how was it working with Robbie Amell on the Tomorrow People?
Woo!
That kid. He's got issues, man. He's a good kid. He's actually a good kid, yeah. It was fun working with him. I'm kind of sad, that the show had to go.
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you like the relationship between nephew and uncle?
Yes.
Really? I thought it was weird and kind of sweet in its own twisted way. Yeah, he's a good kid. He's really committed and works hard at his craft, and that's the way I like to roll. So, I don't know, maybe we'll do it again sometime. Maybe there'll be a movie, the Tomorrow People, the movie. I'm kidding, no.
Hi.
Hey.
How was it like going from playing Jacob, which is basically like God in Lost, to going and playing Satan?
Do you know that I did them at the same time, too? At exactly the same time. I would literally work for a couple weeks in Hawaii, then fly to LA for a day, then go up to Vancouver and do an episode or two of Supernatural, then fly back to Hawaii to do an episode of Lost. Same time. For both season 5 of Supernatural and season 5 of Lost. So I didn't find it weird, actually. It didn't feel like I was going schizophrenic, trying to fit myself into one role and then, make it all work out for the next. They're such different parts. But what they share that I really like is they're very human and down to earth. So the God of Lost was very understandable and accessible, and I think the devil of Supernatural was very accessible. So I just kind of had to know what I was doing and go from there.
You should come back to Supernatural as a character named Jacob, who's Nick's twin.
That's hilarious. That is actually a good idea. going to tell that to Jeremy Carver if I ever see him. Thank you. Good question. Hello.
Hello. I want to start with saying that I really like what you did in Supernatural, and I want to know what is your favorite scene that you had to do in the show?
I think one of my favorite episodes really is the episode where I kill all the gods. I really thought that showed Lucifer for the kind of, it gave him the stature that I think he deserved as a revengeful archangel. So for me, that was really fun. I loved doing that. I also liked the scene where I confront Gabriel and try to win him over to my side, and he foolishly tries to kill me. That was really sad for me.
Thank you.
Poor Richard.
Hi, Mark.
We're really zipping through these questions. I gotta take more time now.
You keep talking about how you were like really sad to see Richard go, but do you think Lucifer, as Gabriel's brother, was sad to kill him too?
Yeah.
Nice long answer.
Just as I say, I gotta make these things a little bit more lengthy. That's just my rebellious streak coming out right there. Yeah, I think so. I think Lucifer said in that scene, that he taught him everything he knew, and he tries to win Gabriel over, and the scene gives you a sense that the brothers really loved each other, and that Lucifer kind of raised him in a way. That they were really, really tight brothers in that weird family of archangels, and so it was heartbreaking for Lucifer. Otherwise, Lucifer would just come in and kill him, and he doesn't. He tries to win him over, and I think that's a really important, thing that the script is saying about the dynamic between the two characters. So.
Thank you very much.
I said absolutely nothing in a minute and a half. You could sum up the minute and a half with yes. What's that? Where am I? We're here. Hey, you're all alone.
Hi, I am all alone.
Wow.
This is yet another supernatural question. But I was wondering, because as the character Lucifer, he's, the devil, did you ever think that he would gain such a positive following when you accepted the role? Because there's a literal, Lucifer is my baby sort of thing going on.
Well, I think the way they set up the mythology makes it that way because you feel for Nick, who's gone through so much trauma in his life, and the case that the devil makes for possessing Nick is so strong that I think you can't be rational and listen to that and go, nah, don't do it, Nick, don't. It makes total sense. So I think they made Lucifer relatable. Not only the character of Nick relatable, but Lucifer's cause kind of relatable, even though he wants to annihilate the entire human race. You're like, but maybe he has a point. So I thought that was just the writing. I thought it was great, and I'm glad the fans like Lucifer because he's an interesting. He is a more interesting character than I think the Lucifers that have been portrayed in the past. At least the way they've written him. He's accessible. So I'm glad it's light, everybody. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Hi.
Hey.
So you said earlier that you were considered for Castile, Castile. I feel that Castile, the character, has evolved quite a lot because of Misha's personality. So did
Meaning Misha's antisocial and really weird?
Well,
yep.
Is there a part of Lucifer character that has evolved based on your personality, on what you're invested in the role?
Yeah, I don't think as an actor you can escape your personality. I think it doesn't mean that I want the entire human race to die. By the way. But I think your mannerisms and your intelligence and your understanding of life is always going to find its way into your parts, right? Very few actors that I know of seem to transform from one thing to another. Even the greats like Meryl Streep, if you really look at her work and study her work, you see her throughout. You know, it's just her with adjustments to her character. And Misha's been really fortunate because he's been in the show for a while. You know, and over time you really get to evolve your character. You become comfortable in the skin of, you know, the characterization, or you know, the way in which the character does things. And that's a great thing about being on a TV show for a long time, is the ability to, what was that? Misha? She's messing with me. Is the ability to evolve the character and let your own personality kind of work its way in. You know, for most shows too, once they really get to know you, they write for you. Once they understand your personality, they end up making scenes kind of more in line with the kind of person that you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
That was like 3 minutes.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say that I really love your work, and I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Do you have any funny stories from, like, behind the scenes from Lost?
From Lost?
Yeah.
Notice how I said that? Just from the way I said that, you can probably guess my answer.
Okay, well.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm like, from Lost? I don't have any funny stories. I don't have any stories. I mean, other than, you know, things that might be boring, like, you know, me and Jorge talking about Indian food for hours at a time. And he, like, knows all the great Indian food restaurants probably in the world, because it's one of his favorite foods to eat. And, you know, I knew Nestor and I go back a little ways. You know Nestor, the one who played Richard? Mm-hmm. Was that a bird, or was somebody Richard and I go back a little ways because he studied at the theater company that I used to study and teach at, so we have kind of a similar approach to things, and we talked about that. And he's surprisingly athletic. I mean, he's kind of a little guy, and you'd never know it. The mayor of Gotham City, you'd never know, is really like just tough, spry. And that's it. I mean, just talking to Josh and, you know, everybody. Josh was a really funny guy and a great storyteller, but I couldn't tell you a single story that he told. But I remember them being funny.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You like that? You liked the question?
That was great.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey.
So my question is revolution related.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah. Well, I really like the series, but it was pretty short. It's about the scene where Monroe kills Jeremy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That made me really sad because he trusted him. But like, how do you feel about, you know, when you read the scene and when you acted it out, how it go?
It went like this. When I read it, I was like, oh shit. I'm dead. And David Lyons was like, Mark, check this out. I think you're coming back. I'm like, David, why? Why am I coming back? There's no evidence in this script that I'm coming back. And he's like, no, you're the only person that we don't see actually die. We take you behind closed doors and then we hear a gunshot. Everybody else that we kill, you see them die in front of you, so I think you're coming back. And to be honest with you, it kind of pissed me off. I was like, what? What? I mean, because, you know, Eric was doing that show. And I thought, you know, since he created the part of Lucifer, he created something for Jeremy that was going to go somewhere, and I was like, this part is not going anywhere. I just kind of am, you know, Monroe's friend, and then I die. I don't know, it kind of bugged me. So I'm glad you were sad, because I think that's a healthy response. I was sad too, but I was also pissed. So you watched the show all the way to the completion, to the end?
Yeah.
To the 2 seasons that it went?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. No, I hear a lot of people like it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But we were very clean, weren't we, for people that were in kind of a post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, you were.
That kind of bugs me a little bit. I mean, like in Walking Dead, everybody's filthy. And I'm like, that's it. Norman ain't cutting his hair, right? I mean, it's gonna... Anyway, whatever, I'm ranting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Revolution. Do you guys like Revolution?
What?
The Crawley fan back there. Yes?
Stay there.
Hello?
I just wanted to say, first of all, you are an amazing actor. I actually got my mom to watch Supernatural because of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My question
Is she hopelessly addicted now?
Oh, yes.
So she's part of the SPN family.
She watches it like it's a soap opera.
Really?
Yeah.
Has she seen all 10 seasons?
Almost.
Okay, so she's catching up still.
Netflix, yeah.
Okay, got it.
My question is, if you had to choose between Jensen or Jared, who
What?
would it be?
What?
No. First of all, I have to ask, for what?
I mean, like, if you had to choose, like, which one you like better as a person.
Oh no. What kind of question is that? No.
I'll talk to you later. First of all,
The internet.
One of the things that I love about Supernatural is that all the guys and girls who work on the show are pretty freaking awesome. And that's a fact. I mean, and you guys get to meet them at conventions, and I'm sure there's probably not one of you that have had a bad experience with somebody from Supernatural. They're just great guys. So I'm not saying this just to be politically correct. I actually would choose between the two of them because I like them both. You know, Jared is really, really smart. He's not just a good-looking guy. He's really, really, really smart, very well read, and I enjoy talking to him about ideas and books and all that stuff. And Jensen is really, really smart too, really talented in a lot of ways. He's a good singer. Have you guys heard him sing?
Yeah.
He plays, he sings. I mean, these guys are all, you know, they're all just not good-looking dudes. They've got a deep bench in a lot of ways and a really great sense of humor, and it's really fun to work with them. So I choose Osric. Osric is like really athletic too. Like, you know about Osric, right?
Yeah.
He was a stuntman, and you know that he like beat up Jared.
Yeah.
He's no one to mess around with. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
I love them both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Mark.
How are you?
Thank you so much for being here in Montreal.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I've actually seen you from The Big Lebowski till Tomorrow's People.
Okay.
So if I check IMDb, it says that you are in 121 movies and TV shows.
Yeah, but a lot of them are home movies that I take.
Alright.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, is there a role that you hesitated for a really long time and you're like, I'm not sure it's going to be a comfort zone, or do I have the skills to do that?
Well, whoops. The time is now 1200 hours. I don't think I can say that about anything on film or TV. Unless it's like if they want me to be like a romantic lead. because I feel like, really, but those are such personality parts a lot of times, and I don't know that the first impression that I leave people with is that I'm a romantic lead. So sometimes I do feel a little bit weird about going up for parts like that. But the things that I feel challenged by, just spit, sorry, and that went your way. The things I feel challenged by are more like theatrical, stuff that I've done on stage. You know, my wife and I worked on Hamlet for a couple of years, and then we put it up for about 5 months. And I was hesitant, to say the least, about doing a part like that because I'm stretching my hip. It's so huge, you know. It's a part that is defined by the actor and the director, and that was very, very, very challenging. But I did it, and I think I did okay with it, considering. But nothing yet. I want more challenges in TV and film. I think there's character things that I can do that I haven't had a chance yet to explore on film that I'd like to. Comedy, yeah, but I don't. You know, I'm not a very good setup delivery guy. You know, setup punchline. That's a whole different kind of skill. I think what I could do that I could be have fun with is character-driven comedy. You know, where the funniness comes out of the situation and the types of people that you are. And there's a lot of that stuff on TV now, so I don't know, maybe there'll be a space for me in that genre. Thank you. I don't even know what I was saying.
I just want to see you do comedy now.
Right? Right on. Who said that? Where did that voice come from? Was you? That was you? I thought that was my own internal monologue. Like, oh, I didn't take my medication today. And now it sounds like a woman. A beautiful. I don't take medication for this job. Even though I may need to, I don't do it. What's up? You're what is that?
It's a hat.
With you got the microphone thing going?
Well, it's a part of my cosplay.
Yeah. What is that?
Earpiece, there's a mic there.
That's nice.
And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 different headset, different parts and put together.
You made that.
Yeah.
Well done. You guys are so talented with your costume and makeup. I'm envious. In general.
Okay, hey. You said earlier that you could have played Misha, but no, not Misha, no. Cassian.
I could have played with Misha.
I was wondering, would you like to try playing Cassian right now?
Right now?
Okay, try Cassian, play Cassian, please.
Woo! Wow!
Why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you play Casca? Sure. Right here. I'm going to take a lesson from you, and I'm going to try to do my best. Is that Casca? Okay. So, do you need the microphone for this character play, or? Yes? Thank you. Can I follow each thing that you say, or make an echo? So you just said Dean. I could detect dead. I hate too many words. I'm an angel of the Lord, Dean. I know what I'm doing. him when he's not doing Supernatural. He talks like this!
Yeah, he does this. The way he normally talks in between the takes, he's like, hey Mark, how you doing? I'm telling you, dude. We're gonna go down to hell.
Sorry, stop making faces.
And we're gonna get Lucifer. We're gonna bring back up to fight the darkness.
Cut. Coupé.
Hi guys. Can I have some lunch? Déjeuner? S'il vous plaît.
French? So do you? Well, I was thinking about Michel speaking French.
Does he?
Yeah, I was wondering because you were playing Michel.
Je sais pas.
Thank you so much.
Going to see you later for an autograph, and I was wondering, would you like a drawing? What would you like?
A drawing? Wow. Why don't you surprise me? Surprise me. Yeah? Okay, thank you. So if I have to audition for the part, that's the way I'm doing it. Yes. How are you?
Fine. Oh, my face.
Wait, what? It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right there. And there I am, right there.
Since last time I didn't see you in TV, I'm really sorry, and I realized today that I miss you. Well, in your recently work, what are you most proud of, and what advice you me to watch, and I will.
I mean, the thing about work is, I'm more proud of the stuff that I do after I see it than I am during the work. Does that make sense? Like, everyone's like, what? Because I think, work is process, and sometimes you don't always feel like you are communicating what you want to communicate. And then you see it later and you're like, I was trying to say that, and it came across, a little bit better. So, it's hard for me to say. The last thing that I did was a show called The Return for A&E, and you can check that out, I think, on Netflix if you want to see that. My character isn't a villain, but he's also not so likable in a lot of ways. Unlike the bad guys I play who are more likable. It was very ironic. And I'm not sure why that is, but you can check it out for yourself and see. I think the show has a lot of good things about it that I think people will like. Have you guys seen that yet? Have you seen The Return? The problem is, it's a remake of a French TV show called Le Revenant, which is only an amazing show. It's an amazing, amazing show. And our show is, for the first 5 episodes, seems like a shot-for-shot remake of the show, and unfortunately suffers from comparison to the other show, I think. And since there are elements of our version that are different, I don't know that it necessarily wins in the comparison, but it's still a pretty good show, I think. So check that out and see what you think. And yeah, do that. And get back to me. You guys understand what I mean? Like, you're working and it's work. You're working and you don't know how the product is going to come out. Sometimes it's really arduous, tough and painful. and you're pleasantly surprised by the end, or not, so much by the end. And you have no control over that, unfortunately.
Speaking of the end.
Whoa!
No!
No!
All right.
Pas fini!
Do you want to try a lightning round? Is that
It's
interesting?
like a really fast thing?
Yeah, like they ask a question, you do one-word answers in French.
Whoa!
But ask the questions in English, because then...
One-word answers, but then it's just no.
Or two words. Should we do it?
And
Go!
Hello, boys.
no.
My question is, it was for a fight that Crowley, it was for a win, but si tu voudrais le faire, ce combat-là, voudrais-tu le faire?
If you could do that combination, would you like to do it?
Fight!
Combination of what?
Fight! A fight! A fight with Crowley!
Is this French? Plus
Yeah. That's French, it's fine.
Sounds
This lightning is not.
I know, it's not really striking.
This is not lightning. Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
I wanted to know if you remembered anything about this set of Moving Island.
Oh my God. Well, I've seen pictures online where I'm naked in a closet and I don't even remember that happening. I think they actually drugged me for real and put me in that closet. It's rather shocking to see my white butt on broadcast all the way across social media like that. I don't remember anything other than there's this body of water near Palm Springs called the Salton Sea. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's all the runoff from all the farms that are around that area, all the water and the manure and everything just comes together in this one basin, and they call it the Salton Sea. And I had to get in that. That's the water that I come out of in that movie, or that they rescue me, and I forget what happens. But what you don't see is that all along the shore are millions of fish skeletons.
Ew! Nasty.
So if you see me in a future project and I have a third eye or a finger jutting out of my chest, you know that it was from the Salton Sea.
Hi Mark.
Hello. How are you? Good. How are you?
Good. I actually named my son after Jacob from Lost.
Wow.
So
thank you.
Nice meeting you. So obviously the question is Lost related. I wanted to know if you knew about Jacob and the Men in Black origin story while you were acting, or if not, how do you imagine that origin story to be between those two godlike figures in Lost?
I did not know about it while we were doing it. They never gave us any information.
Obviously.
And I hesitate to really deeply imagine something when I don't know the direction that they're going to go in, because I'm a little bit afraid that I'm going to stick something in my head that I can't get out of, and that'll be incongruous to the story. So I just tried to leave myself open to whatever suggestions they would give me, and kind of feeling like it was a Cain and Abel type of myth, between brothers, and just letting that impression take me wherever it did, basically.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.